Pebbles Live.
In the previous experiment, we added vinegar and baking soda and we saw the reaction. But we couldn't see what was going on inside the bottle. So now I'm going to do an experiment. We are using the same things, the same reaction, but now we can see what is going on inside the bottle. So for this, we will need a balloon. You can use any color. Next, you will need a plastic bottle that is transparent. So we will be able to see what is going on inside. You will need some vinegar, yes, our key ingredient, vinegar, and the baking soda. So the vinegar and baking soda are the two important ingredients here. You will also need a funnel here. You can also make the funnel using a paper like how I showed you in the previous experiment. So do you have the things ready? Shall we start? We will begin by taking the balloon. Now we need to add our baking soda into the balloon. So I am using a funnel to transfer the baking soda into the balloon. So I am placing the mouth of the balloon over the tip of the funnel. So this will make sure that our baking soda doesn't fall out of the funnel. Now I am adding the baking soda into the balloon. Make sure it goes into the balloon and not outside. So now I have added the baking soda. You can remove the funnel now. Leave this aside. Our next step is to add vinegar into the bottle. So we have our vinegar ready and the baking soda ready. So what is our next step? We need to add the two together. So I will do this by placing the balloon, the mouth of the balloon over the mouth of the bottle. And now I need to turn it over so that the baking soda combines with the vinegar. So are you ready to see what's happening? So let's start. Did you see that? The balloon got inflated. Why did that happen? I'm sure you'll be able to answer this. This is exactly the same reaction that happened in our volcano. Carbon dioxide gas was formed, and as we know, gases spread out in air, and in the balloon, since carbon dioxide gas is present, it inflates the balloon. So did you have fun inflating the balloon? So I will now tell you what we did in this experiment from the beginning. So the things we needed were a plastic bottle that is transparent, some vinegar, some baking soda, a balloon, and a funnel. So we added our baking soda into the balloon using a funnel. Then in a bottle we poured some vinegar. After that we added the baking soda into the vinegar by placing the mouth of the bottle and placing the mouth of the balloon over the mouth of the bottle. And after turning the balloon over, the baking soda that was in the balloon went and combined with the vinegar in the bottle, and carbon dioxide gas was released, which inflated the balloon. So did you have fun? I'm sure you had fun, and now you know why this happens. I'm sure you would all want to see it once again. So here I am doing it for you once again. We have our vinegar in the bottle, and you know what's inside the balloon. Yes, it's baking soda. I have placed the mouth of the balloon over the mouth of the bottle. Now when I turn the balloon over, the baking soda mixes with the vinegar and our balloon gets inflated. So now you know the reason behind this. And what is the gas that is inflating the balloon? Yes, it is carbon dioxide. So did you have fun with this experiment? Shall we move on to the next? So are you ready to begin the next experiment? For our next experiment, you will need a glass of water, some food dye which is optional. I thought I could make things colorful, so I am using pink colored food dye here, and some straws. So very simple things we need, just a glass of water, some straws and food dye which is optional. So let's get started. So I am adding the food dye into the water. Here I am using pink. So it's a very beautiful color. Next, I will show you how to cut the straw. First you need to mix it well. Now I will show you how to cut the straw. Take the straw and you need to make a cut at 1/3 of its length. Make sure you do not cut the entire width. Just a small slit is enough. So now you can see that the straw bends. So here the straw, I made an incision, now the straw is bent. Now when you blow, I am telling you to blow, you do not have to suck it in, you have to blow. Listen carefully to the sound. Can you hear the whistling sound? The sound changes as the straw is immersed in the water. So, are you interested in knowing why this happens? This is because there is air around us, and when air vibrates, you hear this sound. The sound of the vibration of air molecules. Now, when the straw is immersed in water, the amount of air molecules present is less, causing a difference in frequency of the sound that we hear. So now, I'll do it once again. So did you notice the difference in sound? It is somewhat like a whistle. As the straw gets immersed deeper in the water, the number of air molecules present for vibration becomes less. So there is a change in the frequency of the sound that we hear. So did you have fun with this experiment? It's a very simple one. What did we do? We filled our glass with water. Here I used colored water, and then we cut our straw and bent it. Why did we do that? This is because we need air to vibrate. The air molecules need to vibrate. So now when I blow into it, the air molecules vibrate and we hear a sound, because as we go deeper, the number of air molecules available for vibration becomes less. Pretty cool experiment, isn't it? Hi everyone, welcome to Pebbles channel. I am here to teach you how to do some experiments, and then I will explain the science behind these experiments. So are you ready? Today we are going to see few experiments, and one of that is related to emulsions. Yes, the word might be new to you. Before going into the experiment, there are some things you need to know. So you must have heard the word solution commonly, right? So what is a solution? In science, a solution is a mixture of two substances, a solute and a solvent. So what is a solution? It is a mixture of a solute and a solvent. So what is a solute and what is a solvent? The two substances that mix, right? The one that is present in abundant quantity is the solvent, and the one that is present in lesser quantity is the solute. For example, if you mix salt in water, the water is available in more quantity, so it is the solvent, and the salt is lesser in quantity, so it becomes the solute. And when you mix salt in water, you notice that it dissolves completely, forming a solution. So how is a solution formed? A solution is formed by mixing a solute and a solvent. Today we are going to see a particular type of solution called an emulsion. In an emulsion, the solute and the solvent are in the liquid form, and the most important point here is they don't mix together under normal conditions. For example, do you remember we have learnt miscible and immiscible liquids? Yes, and what was the example of immiscible liquid? It was oil and water. Notice that oil and water do not mix. And why was that? It was because of their difference in densities. And we saw that oil forms a separate layer above the water. We could clearly see the difference in the two layers. Now, if these two solutions do not, the solvent and the solute do not mix, then how do we say it is a solution? To make it to mix, we use what is called an emulsifier. So what is an emulsifier? An emulsifier is a third substance that we add in order to make the solute and the solvent mix. Example of an emulsifier, example of an emulsion is milk. Now we have two types of milk, milk with the fat content and without the fat content. Now we are going to consider milk with the fat content. Normally it does not mix, the milk and the fat do not mix. So in order to make them mix, we add an emulsifier. Another example for an emulsifier is egg yolk. Yes, the yolk of an egg acts as an emulsifier. So we are going to do an experiment where I show you how an emulsifier works. So I hope you understood the science behind it.
Pebbles Live.